Hi everyone, it's Kim with Vintage Vikings, and today we are going to do another version of Nailed It or Failed It. I saw a couple of videos online of faux rice paper, and I wanted to try it because it looked fun. I'm in between journals right now, so I thought, let's do something that I don't need to do for a journal, and I can just do it for fun. And I will link the video down below of the one that I'm going to try to come closest to copying, and then you guys can go look at that video, come back here and look at what I've done, and we'll see if I nailed it or failed it. And so let's get started. You need some napkins, a plastic surface, I'm going to use Mod Podge because I've tried this previously on some of my decoupage days, and I used my little mixture of white glue with water, and no matter how many times I layered it and let it dry, it just didn't come out the way I wanted it to. It was still very napkin-y. So I really want that plastic look, so I'm going to try with the Mod Podge. So we've got our Mod Podge, we've got this, we need a plastic surface to work on. For the video, what I did was I just took a piece of the 12 by 12 scrapbook pack. I used one of the back pages and I just covered it with some saran wrap. I think that's going to be the most difficult part of this whole process, because fighting with saran wrap is it's kind of a mess. And then a cup with some water in it helps as well. All right, so I thought we would do two today. One that is going to be more napkin with a border, and then one that is going to be a full napkin. Okay, we'll use the little trick of using the tape to separate the napkin part. So you want to get it down to the first, or to the single layer. And I have not found a better way to do this, other than sometimes if I go ahead and I iron the creases out, sometimes it'll separate. But if I'm not going to do that, then this little tape trick works wonderfully. And when they're really printed like this, just be careful and go slow, because I have gotten too rush and have ripped before. Save these, because you can use these to cover over some of your shiny magazine pages that you use for your journals as well. It makes it nice to cover up some of that shiny. All right, so I didn't add coffee or any of the flavors that and I don't even think she said her name on the video, but I will link it all down below. She mixed Mod Podge with coffee and nutmeg and all kinds of stuff. So, but I'm just using straight Mod Podge, and I'm going to, you can't see it great because there's a reflection, but I'm just going to cover the surface, not too thick, but a nice generous coating. And if you're doing specific sizes, you can always use a Sharpie and draw the shape so that you can keep the Mod Podge right in the borders. But for this project, it's going to take up most of this board. Okay, and as you can see, I've Mod Podged the whole bottom. All right, and then we're going to carefully, let's move that so I don't spill it. And then carefully, I'm going to start with one edge. Try to get out as many of the wrinkles as you can while you're spreading it. Let's see. And be real careful, because the napkins are so thin that they just rip. But if you do tear it, it's okay, because if you add enough Mod Podge, it just will hold it all together, apparently. Okay, Now it's all nice and stuck down. Okay. And I'm just going to pour a little bit of this on here instead of dipping. We'll see how that works. We'll see if I nail this or fail this. So I didn't really see that she talked about how much to put on there. I guess the more you put on, the thicker the page is going to come out. And just generously and carefully, because you don't want to rip the napkin. And you don't want to fight it, so since it's sticking to the board underneath, you don't want to pull too hard so that it tears your napkin up. But again, it will go back together. And the nice thing about doing things for junk journals is that you don't have to really be perfect at anything. You just have to be creative and sometimes have patience and just accept what you are doing as art and fun. And whoops, look at that, just sloshing it everywhere. Well, now I think I do have too much right here. As you can see, it's really soupy. So let's see if I can just get some of that off. Alrighty. Because I think this is going to take a while to dry. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put it outside. We're finally getting some nice days here in Ohio, so putting it outside will be nice. Let's just hope that the little squirrels and chipmunks don't run over it and leave their little scratchy prints. Okay, so I think that's nice and covered. All right, so we're going to go ahead and set this one aside and let it dry, which she says it takes about 24 hours. So, oh, I forgot the other step. In order to get it to come off the plastic, she recommends going on the edge and just giving it a little, like a little push-up, a little ridge kind of thing. I guess that's to give it a little bit of a border. So that, and I'm using a little extra water just to thin out the Mod Podge to get that edge. So then I'm just tucking in the corners or the edges to get that little bit of a border so that it's easier, and then I guess to make it thicker. Okay, that kind of looks like a fun little edge too. And you can use these for all types of things. Once you're done, you can use them for tucks, and you can make them for little shaker cards and page covers and actually pages in your signatures. But we'll see how that works. Okay, let's set this one aside and let it dry, and let's work on the other one. And I covered 2 boards for this project. I'm tearing this one apart. All right, let's see here. And this one I thought would be fun because it's got like a border, and then we'll have maybe some transparent on the top and some roses on the bottom, or peonies, I'm not sure. And I'm just going to run a little line like this to tear it so that I don't get a straight line. Okay, there's that. Yeah, we'll do the little tape trick. Let's see if the tape trick works after I've wet it. This is going to be a little stubborn napkin. I always try to go on this corner part that has the little bit of the edging on it. There we go. Because it seems like that grips better on the tape. And be real careful. Alrighty, so now we've got that piece off. And I want to say that this one is already down to its 1 ply. I think these were just some 1-ply. Could be wrong, but I think I remember these were only a 2-ply napkin. Let's try it. Yep, I think that's it because it's not wanting to separate. Yep, okay, so these are only 2-ply napkins. Okay, let's try this now. Again, we'll get out our little board, and it looks like it's going to be a little too long. So we'll just do the best we can do here. Maybe I'll cut off that little section. That's the fun thing about working with napkin. You can just use like a little brush and cut off. By using water, you can just separate it super easy. I think they actually make little water pens that you can get more precise, but I don't have one of those. Okay, let's see. Yep, that should fit a lot better. Okay, this seems very simple, so we'll see how it works out. Again, we're just going to cover the surface with some of the Mod Podge. And I think when I'm not trying to do this on camera, I might do another try with the plain white school glue and maybe just not water it down as much as I normally do for decoupaging. And we'll try and see if that works a little bit better. Okay, nice generous amount, but not too goopy. And then I'm just going to put that down. And I think I went over the edge just a little bit, but that's okay. Should have hit a bigger surface for this napkin. And it's going to have a few little wrinkles in it. I'm not too worried about that. If you want to be more careful and take your time, I'm sure that you could get all these wrinkles out, but I think it just adds to the character of the paper. And if I wanted something perfect, I probably could just go to the store and buy something or order it offline. But for this, I want it to just be alrighty. Got a little off center there. Okay. And since last time I put a little too much, I think I'll just go straight out of the bottle this time. Okay. Let's see. And make sure you get all those little rough edges. They can be trimmed later if they're too thin. And I'll try the little trick where I push them all up and see if I can get some of those rough edges not so rough and dainty and lacy looking. All right. This doesn't seem like it's going too badly. And there is a little bit left over here, and we'll have to just see if I can, when I do the edge part, see if I can get it back on there. Okay, and like I said, I'm just going to leave these little wrinkles. They don't look too bad. There we go. And then I'm just going to use my water and try to push these edges in just a tiny bit. And I'm not making them, if you notice, I'm not going, so you can see how it swoops. Maybe if I hold it like this, you can see better that there's just no way to have good lighting. Sometimes we're having another dreary day, so I don't have much sunlight to work with, so artificial light always seems to be a bother. Wonder if I just flip this up and fold it over. That'll make a nice little edging for it. We'll have to see. All right, and then again, tuck these up. And again, you can use probably a shower curtain or some of that big painter's plastic and just tape it down to your work surface if you want to do multiple pieces. And this would be a nice project to maybe while you're sitting outside on the patio in these nice days to do. And then you can just, you know, once you've got your plastic taped down on a whole table, then when it's all done, you could have all different projects on this one sheet and then just leave it outside to dry. And you don't have to worry about trying to figure out where to put your little extras. Okay, I think that's good. Smooth that around. All right, so this one is going to go off to dry. I don't know if you can see the edges, but I kind of tucked them in. All right, so I'm going to put these off to dry. All right, and so we don't have 24 hours to waste. What I did was I did 2 of them last night to just see how they were going to turn out. I did them exactly the way I did these, but I wanted to have some results to show you. So I'm going to shut my Mod Podge because I'm clumsy enough that I will probably knock it off of my desk. All right, and so this is one that I did last night, and it's completely dry. And if you see, I don't know if you can see the edges. I did the edges the same, but I did this exactly the same way, but I wanted to see if I was going to nail it or fail it, but didn't want to have to wait overnight. My video editing skills are not that fantastic. So, all right, so I'm just going to start peeling this off. Well, that seemed to come off pretty easily, except for this area, which I think I missed the edge, and I was on the actual paper, so I just ripped off a tiny little bit. That doesn't seem so bad. Let's see what we got. Well, it looks like, it feels like hers is a little bit, it's shiny. It seems durable. It does have a little extra, it looks like the Mod Podge on the edge, but it looks like that just comes right off. And if you're going to, and if I just took some time, I think it would be great to just, where I had some extra left over, and that just seems to peel right off. I think that's pretty good. We'll just peel these off or cut them, and so, what do you think? I think that looks pretty fun. All right, so there's one that I did, and that's to be similar to the butterfly one that I just did with you guys. All right, and let's try the other one that's more of a border type. And I did this one last night as well, same thing. Mod Podge did the, if you can see before I pull it off, how I did the same ridge on this. So let's see how this does, and I didn't get close to the edge on this one. Oh, it really seemed to peel off super easy. Wow, I like this project. This almost would be a fun project to do with kids. All right, and again, there's, you can see I have like a little extra of the Mod Podge, so, all righty. And this edge got a little bulky, but that can always be trimmed off easily. There's the back, shiny, but you can see through it, and if you wanted to put that over a different color paper, I have an envelope right here. Let's see if you can, so you can still, so if you wanted to put it over a book page or music or some old ephemera, some old letters, you could do that. Wow, this is a fun project. So, alrighty, well, there we go. These seem to work, and I'm going to let the other ones dry, and maybe I'll do a little short on those and pull those off and see what we come up with when they're dry. The only thing I noticed is I got a little bit here. I don't know if you can, I don't know if I can really show it. It's not as shiny as the rest, so I must have missed. But it still seems like it's just as durable. It's just not as shiny. I must have missed that area with the extra Mod Podge. So, all right, well, what do you think? Did I nail it or did I fail it? I will link the tutorial down below from the one that I watched, and we'll see what you guys think. And if you have a minute, if you wouldn't mind subscribing to my channel and liking this video, it would help me out a lot. Thanks so much. Have a great day, guys.